Hi, this class is called Sign Language Structure, Learning, and Change. I'll be teaching the course. My name is Ted Sapala, and here's how you sign my name. This class will be different than ones you may have taken before, in which you've learned signs, vocabulary, and so on. In this class, you'll learn about the language itself. To learn about the language, we'll study it according to its different components, which is why I've divided it this way: into structure, learning, and change. I'll talk about these further. Here you can see that as the class progresses, we'll cover each of these topics. I'll briefly go over each one. First, we'll talk about structure, in which we'll look at layers of mechanism of the grammar. Grammar is not just one thing. Rather, it's made up of many pieces that all work together like cogs in a machine that make language run. Now, these pieces operate on several layers. One is the word level. Typically, words are a main focus, but they alone don't constitute grammar. They work in conjunction with other layers and words, including the use of one's body and space for sign languages. This makes the learning experience quite different than that of spoken languages. Now again, we'll look closely at why learning is not always easy and is just as challenging to learn as other languages. But in this class, we'll also look closely at types of words when we discuss learning the internal composition of words. All the words of a language are collectively referred to as the lexicon. But these words are not all of the same type. Some are more complex than others, and this may influence learning in that less complex words are easier to learn than more complex ones. Moreover, depending on how a word is used, its form may change in various ways to make it work with other layers of grammatical mechanisms. So words are used on one layer, but they interact with other layers, which can require changes to the form of the word. All of this can make learning sign language very challenging. Third, we'll look at change, specifically the historical heritage of the language. This means that ASL is not as new as you might think. It has a long history and heritage of passing the language down from generation to generation, which means we'll consider ASL in its early days to see whether it looks the same as it does today. Also, we can look to early ASL to see the basic beginnings of newly emerging languages. New communities start by using whatever resources are available. Accordingly, early ASL was closely linked to gesture and evolved into language. This is part of our heritage. The more you understand about each of these topics, the more you'll understand what it means when people challenge whether sign language is truly equal to any other language. Vast numbers of languages exist, but almost all the ones that have been studied are spoken languages. Now, with a sign language, some may expect that its principles may be unique, or we may find that many principles are the same as those found in spoken languages. This is an important point to keep in mind throughout the course. Next, I'll show you how the course is divided up. First, I'll talk about the rationale for the course design. We've planned this course with our student audience in mind, knowing that those who sign up for the course could have quite diverse backgrounds. I've tried to address the needs and anticipate the questions of different learners to help you navigate the course. As an example, one group of students may already know sign language and may even be lifelong signers. But there's a lot that even this population doesn't know. Or you may already know some things, but with new findings shared in this course, you'll have to reconcile that with the information you already have. So that's one group. Another group of students might be non-signers, but may have a background in coursework on how to study language and might be taking this class because there aren't enough courses in their area that cover these topics. So this is a distinct audience that I thought about as well. In the course, I've incorporated a great deal of information from a variety of disciplines, including different research methods, with a goal of interdisciplinary synergy. Now, some very complex topics are included in the course, so the sequence had to be carefully designed. Basically, the course is divided into 4 modules, with each one taking about 1 week of your time and attention. So, roughly 5 hours per module. In all, it would take 4 weeks at that pace to complete the class. Each lesson is made up of not just lectures, but additional supplementary units, such as readings and assignments to be able to practice producing, understanding, and analyzing sign language. You'll get instant feedback on whether your answers are correct so that you can progress throughout the self-paced course on your own. Lastly, I'll cover how I'll be teaching. You may have already noticed that as I've been lecturing, a voiceover is available. All lectures were translated from ASL to English, which I then reviewed and revised. The translations were then used for captioning, which you can use to clarify your understanding of the lectures. Another nice thing about this course design is that you can stop and re-watch material as needed. If you encounter an unfamiliar sign, you can stop and refer to the captions to be sure you understand. In all, that's how the course was designed.